I didn't hear. So I'm Kevin Carter. I'm the head of business development for Ecomap Technologies, where we're really all about building up ecosystems in an equitable, sustainable, and navigable way. So we believe ecosystems are everywhere, and they're often hidden around us. And what we try to do is really bring the organizations, the resources, people, events to life, and make it something that can be really useful and navigable for all parties involved. So with the time I have, I'd be happy to, there we go, cool, I can actually see the reflection. I'll show you a little bit of the functionality that we've added to the Starcrow Upstate platform in the past couple of months, and view specifically how you can go and actually claim your organization, make sure your information is up to date, and really get the most value for not only your organization, but also the entrepreneurs that you support. So really through any Ecomap, what we try to do is we go out and do a lot of the lifting of getting these resources, fitting them, tagging them, and putting them into a data paradigm to make it really easy to navigate through programs, through people, or events. I know one of the big things that this is used for is the events calendar, because events are the kind of the backbone of what makes ecosystems run and what bring people together. So there are over 100 events that are upcoming, and including a handful today. Maybe people are going to be stopping in at Business and Brews or something later after this is over. But a really good way just to be able to explore everything that is out there. And if your organization has any events, add them as well. So I will show you how to claim. First, I'll show briefly kind of the resource breakdown of what that looks like. So we have over 300 resources we've gathered that can be helpful to entrepreneurs in the upstate South Carolina region. You can make it easy to search for things such as, what are all the events I might want to attend or networks I might want to join, and be able to scroll through and find what those are. Or likewise, if you're trying to identify the different funding opportunities that are available, that's something you can do as well. And I'll show you on the organizational side what it looks like when you actually click on one of those and learn a little bit more about what they do. So let's say, for example, and I don't, let's say I work at AgSouth and I wanted to go and claim my organization. So what this page takes you to is the organization profile, as we call it. So here you'll get to discover all information about the organization itself, take you right to their website. You can actually contact them if they have their contact info there, and send an email through this, and you'll be able to get in touch directly with whoever the account representative is there for it. We also have these keywords that are really kind of the backbone to a lot of the stuff throughout the ecosystem. So we're able to identify the type of organization, what they do, what resources they provide, who they focus on, and then even see, for example, what are all those resources. So it looks like AgSouth does quite a bit of funding in terms of farm loans, land loans, leasing, and then even a small event and a workshop series that they offer. And if, let's say, you work here and you want to add another resource, or you want to change a description or change any keywords, what you can do here, and I believe all of your organizations are within Starcrow Upstate already, is you can claim the organization. So essentially what this will do, it'll kind of preload the information that you already have. So your name, email, who you might be associated with, and your title. And then here it'll ask you either for like uploading a PDF that shows your relationship. Most people don't do that. Most people just drop their LinkedIn profile that shows like, hey, I'm Kevin. I'm the head of business operations at AgSouth. And then from there, it'll be up to Aaron and Justine to be able to say, yes, you actually do work for this organization. You are authorized to make those changes. You can say something like, hey, you know me, I work here, and then submit that request. And then once you do, you'll be able to have full kind of admin access over that slice of the ecosystem. So this way you'll be able to go in and change, like I mentioned, here we go, details like website, logo, descriptions you have. If you have the year it was founded, you can add that. And then you can also add the different keywords. So for example, we've done when we extracted, but identified it as here's the industries they work within, the type of organization they are, other kind of information you can find as well. And then finally, the relationships. So this is something that we, as an outside company, I'd love to be in upstate South Carolina. I'm not. I'm here in Baltimore. We sometimes can't tell actually the relationships that organizations have. But this is a cool way to actually kind of bring that ecosystem to life and show, for example, like who is collaborating with who on what. So for example, if we wanted to say like AgSouth is actually associated with 10 at the top, you could add that here and then be able to discover that publicly on the profile. Additionally, ways you can show if we have all their added resources here, but if there's like, let's say iSouth sponsored a big conference, they could do that here, or if they used any resources themselves. And this goes to kind of the same for any organization across the board. So that's just, it makes it pretty simple to actually go and make a profile or to claim an organization. The first step is making a profile. That's literally 1, 2, 3 steps there that all you have to do is kind of just put in some basic information about yourself, any organizations that you're affiliated with, and then your own keywords to make yourself highly discoverable. And then you get added to our resource directory or our user directory here, where you can actually go and you see like here's I am, you can check out my profile, where you can just, again, learn a little bit more about the person that's in the ecosystem, any kind of keywords that they might have, get in direct contact, visit their LinkedIn. The last thing with the time we have is this list feature that we just launched for many platforms and Starcrow Upstate specifically. So this is a way that lets you really create your own curated list. Like, a lot of you probably work with entrepreneurs directly, and you probably answer the same 10 questions every day of, where do I find funding? Where can I get connected to mentors? Or like, well, who do you trust? Who do you provide? Who do you trust to provide these services? So we created some pre-populated lists. I know Aaron created this one for example, a list of resources that can help high growth companies in the state. So that's, or upstate. So that's going to be, the Next Innovation Center, a lot of SCRA resources, Venture South, Rolling South Investment. I was also playing around with this and trying to find, what would be good opportunities to really highlight parts of the data set we have that can be relevant for the folks in this room. So I imagine, for example, grants are something that entrepreneurs will often come asking for. So I compiled a list of grants, so 14 different grants, everything from, City of Pickens facade improvement grants all the way to, housing or SC launch. So there's a lot of different opportunities there, but it just gives people a chance in one fell swoop to understand what actually is at their disposal and just make it a little bit easier to navigate. So you, as any kind of ESO, you could, once you have your profile claim, you could actually put out a list of, here's a list of all the organizations that we interact with throughout the ecosystem, or here's a list of the funding opportunities that we think are really great for early stage, maybe ag tech companies. So it lets you get really granular, and you can kind of either share, you can have it private, so it's not publicly discoverable, or you can actually make it public like these are. And then so anyone that comes to this the site can actually view the list that you've made. I'm not entirely sure if I have the time to go through it all, but essentially you can just create it through here, just answer a few short questions about it. You can put the tags of who it might be relevant for, what users can see it, whether or not you want to make it public. And then you can actually add organizations directly, resources or organizations directly to it. Or if you get to a view, like let's say, for example, you're looking for, are there any accelerators? Yes. Let's say here's all the things that are tagged as being an accelerator. From right here, you can actually add them to a list. So if I wanted to create a new list and call this accelerators in Upstate SC, you could go through, maybe add a logo for it, brief description, make it public, and then these 13 different resources will be added to that list. And I'll actually do that after this demo, just to give a good starting point for that. So there's a bit of a speed run, but I wanted to leave some time for questions as well, to see if anyone has anything else they wanted to learn about Starcrow Upstate, Ecomap, or ways we can be helpful.
Is it possible for him to do like a tutorial video?
Yes. Are y'all gonna we were wondering about tutorial videos?
Yeah. We just changed around the way that the admin interface and the public facing sites look for pretty much all of our platforms. So we're waiting for that push down. We are going to, I'll check with our development team. I imagine that would be something we'll get out by the end of the summer, if not even earlier, because we know some of this it's just someone ended up doing a quick demo and then I leave. And then you're like, what did he say again about lists and how to claim organizations? So we're looking to get like those 1 to 2 minute kind of brief rundowns of a lot of different ways to interact on an Ecomap and create like a kind of a broader resource library. So yes, that is in the roadmap.
Great, Kevin, thank you. And this is recorded here. Cool. So we will send this out to everybody after the meeting as well. Kevin, I know you have a hard stop at 1 o'clock. Anything else? very quickly?
We just, I just say we welcome any and all feedback. So you've probably seen on our platforms, there is a send feedback button. And Aaron, feel free to get my email out. Like we're just really wanting to serve the people that serve entrepreneurs. That's really our main mission. So anything that you have feedback on, like how to make the site operate better, things that might be useful to you. You know, if we're hearing enough of the same thing, we realize if it's useful for you, it's probably useful for ESOs all over the country, all over the world. So we want to take that into account and make sure we're keep improving, you know, day in, day out. But really appreciate your time for going through this, and I hope you get some value out of the platform.
And thank you, Kevin. And y'all, they just received what, 3.1 million?
0.5.
3.5. They just received funding from a group out in Los Altos. I don't know. But congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We'll be around. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care.